Many years ago, I was a comedian, and I worked in radio and on stage and everything like that. And one of my influence was Groucho Marx. He worked very sarcastically all the time, and he was very kind of the father of dry wit. And I used to use that dry wit a lot. I used to ad lib a lot of my comedy, and so I learned very quickly how to be quick on my feet and to be able to kind of be sarcastic and dry and all of that kind of stuff. Sometimes I abused that, and I got to a point to where I was being a little bit too sarcastic. In real life, I started to relish in put downs and things like that. It was my way of kind of just trying to keep people away because I really didn't feel too good about myself. Later on, when I started to feel a little bit more in tune with the spiritual side of myself and the real nurturing side of myself. One of my heroes then was definitely Fred Rogers, and so Fred Rogers helped help me get in tune with the heart of who I am, the soul of who I am, of being more welcoming and honoring and Christ-like, and helping to build people up rather than saying things that hurt them and put them down. Now, there are times when I still kind of get a little bit sarcastic, and I use some of that humor and all of that kind of stuff, but I don't use it in a way to hurt people. But I still do like Groucho Marx. I still do, I'm actually thankful for him because some of the skills that I learned as a comedian and all that stuff still help me today. It's just the way that I use them. I still appreciate being quick-witted. It helps me to be quick on my feet and other things. Those same skills apply to other parts of life. To be an appreciator of humor and things like that, all that kind of stuff. As well as Fred is, very much an influence of me today of helping me to be a better Christ-like person. But you know what? It's the weirdest thing. God allows us to actually use both of these in our lives. Sometimes we love to use humor. Instead of using humor to put people away, I sometimes have found that humor in my life has helped bring people closer together, to make us more approachable for each other. And so Fred and Groucho Marx, in my eyes, actually kind of, in the way that I do things, actually kind of works together in tandem, and I'm appreciative of them both. The things that we have a ton of skills. Every one of us has skills and things, and we've been influenced by other things. It really comes down to how we use those skills. Anything that we have can be used as a weapon towards somebody. It can be used to keep people away. It can be used to continue to make ourselves unhealthy. It can continue to do things that create barriers between us and others. But those same things can also be used in a different way of bringing us closer together. It's a hammer can be used as a weapon, and it can also be used as a functioning tool. And so it's really up to us to decide how we use skills that we have and influences that we have. And we have to kind of dig deep inside of who we are to understand why we're using things in a certain way. I used to use humor as a way of pushing people away because I didn't feel good about myself. I had to dig down and understand exactly the skills of humor and everything like that. Why was I using those to push people away? I had to dig down and understand that I had some grief and some anger and some insecurities and sadness in my life that I needed to deal with. And it wasn't until I dealt with that that I could see that I didn't need to push people away anymore. I still had the humor, I still had the skills and all of that kind of stuff, but I could use them in a different way. Instead of using the hammer to clunk people over the head, I could use it to build bridges. I could use it to help build shelter and places of safety for other people. And I could help, work with Fred Rogers and things like that to help people feel better about themselves. We all have skills. We all have gifts. Let's take a real look on how we're using those. Are we using the things that God has given us as ways of bringing people closer together, or are we using them in a way that takes us farther apart? And if we are, what's going on inside that makes us do that? I think you'll find that the tools that we use to bring us together are so much more rewarding. Remember, love God, love yourself, and love your neighbor.